Hi, I'm Dave and I'm going scuba diving with PVC Dive in Puerto Vallarta, which is where I live. As you can see, I'm a knee amputee and I made this flipper, swim flipper for scuba diving. And I'm on their boat, which is a nice compact boat, which is easy to get around on. There's going to be 3 or 4 segments to this video and I'll show you how I made this. But right now I want to show you that it's quite possible to get around on a scuba diving boat with it. And to enter into the water. My gear's already in the water, and once I get into the water, I'm going to put it on. So, could you pass me my mask? Thank you. And we're ready to go diving. See you down there. Okay, well, I just finished diving and passing my equipment up and my fin up and my weight belt and all that other stuff, and I'm about to get out of the water. And this fin works pretty good on a ladder. It's quite possible to actually scuba dive and get around the boat without any help at all from others, which to me is pretty important. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Okay, so let me tell you how I made this. And I use it for scuba diving primarily, though it's nice to swim in a fresh lake with it. This center post is a cane. It's just your basic cane. It's adjustable in height, which is sort of nice. And you can get one anywhere for about 25 bucks, at least you can in Mexico. And then it needs to be reinforced up top. And the way I reinforced it is I took this part out, and you can cut off about the first 3 inches or so, which will allow you to glue this with epoxy inside the bigger tube. And then inside this little tube you can take it's a 1/2 inch copper water supply pipe, and that'll fit perfectly. So where I have the stress in this system, where the 2 bolts are, down to about here, is triple thickness. It's the outer pipe and then an inner section of this cut off and glued inside, and then inside that is another copper pipe. And I went to my prosthesist and he gave me the square setting which fits into this leg. This is the exact same fitting that goes into my socket. And it has 2 screw holes in it. And it's self-tapping, and it's designed for 1/4 inch screws, which these 2 bolts are, which holds it to the flipper. And then a little further down I have electrical ties to sort of give it support so that it's strong. Now in terms of the flipper, it's important that you get a center cut flipper like this one. And the reason it's important is that if you just take a flipper and mount it on your leg and it can't bend and be flexible, then you're not going to get any good water kickback. You're going to get only maybe half the power and half the strength out of it. So it's important with this system that you have a central pillar or post which you can stand on. It's not much of a walker, but you can stand on it, and that the flipper go on either side of it. Now you can take your split flipper, and using a wire cutter, you simply chip away at this section here and make it bigger so that it can be flexible around the center post. The other modification is, and I just use a regular jigsaw, is you need to cut the flipper. And the length you actually want of this is, for me, I put this on the 2nd hole because that's about the length I like. And then you want it to be the same length as your leg. So for me, that's about here, and that's how you determine where to cut this length. Okay. The other thing that's important is that you get a pretty good flipper, and any split flipper will be pretty good, and that this base portion be pretty hard and pretty strong. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It takes me about an hour to make it. Might take you about 2 the first time through. Occasionally, at least once before I double reinforced the cane, it broke, but it only took an hour to make a new one. And it works really well in scuba diving. And I think it's great. I think every amputee should try scuba diving. And let me show you how it goes on. Okay, so all you really have to do is take off your leg, and you do that using a basic Allen wrench. Any hardware store has them. And you loosen these bolts, or these Allen wrench nuts, Allen wrench screws, which your prosthesis has probably told you never to touch. But mine actually is okay with me doing this. I went and asked him if my socket was suitable for this activity, and he said all direct suction sockets are, and that's what I have. It's a direct suction socket. You can see the air valve here, and basically carbon fiber construction, nothing particularly fancy or different about it. And the actual head he gave me is a little smaller than the one on my leg, so I have to adjust and bring the screws in fairly tightly before I actually put it on, which really only takes a minute. I always get a little confused on which way to turn the bottom one, so I put my finger in so I can tell when I'm tightening it. But if you take a look at the two legs, the walking leg and the flipper leg, they're fundamentally the same height, and they fundamentally got the same connection. So all I have to do is then slap this in, and tighten it up, and not drop the Allen wrench through the deck holes. I actually carry 2 of these because nothing worse than having your leg off and not having a backup Allen wrench. Trust me, I dropped it in the sand once and it disappeared, and felt very lucky when I managed to find it. So, just snug it down a little bit, and tighten it up real nice before you go in. And you're pretty much done. Now when you get done, if you're diving particularly in salt water, you want to take off the flipper leg, and you want to take a little bottle of water or whatever fresh water you have and rinse the whole thing in fresh water, and that'll really help it not rust. I do occasionally have some rusting on these Allen screws because they go in the salt water and they are not stainless, but they sell them very cheaply and I just replace them every month or so. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's not much of a walker, but you can hobble around places on it, which is fine. It's a lot harder with a flipper on. So before you put your flipper on your other foot, and I'd strongly recommend you buy the better flippers with the split. They also require a bootie, which actually is a pretty good safety feature for your existing foot, since it's important to protect that from a lot of stuff. Anyway, that's all I got, and I hope it works for you, and a happy diving. Of the leg. I tried it in salt water, attached to my socket, and discovered it sunk a little bit, which I really didn't want to happen. So what we did was we took, let me show you on this flipper, we took this hole and we cut out 2 pieces of styrofoam, sort of like from an old styrofoam floating board we had laying around, hard so that atmospheres won't compress it, and we put them in on either side of this metal piece. We then use this product, great stuff, you can find it at the Home Depot and a great variety of other places, and it foams. And so we foamed in the front holes, the vent holes, and in here. Now prior to that we'd cut it down so that it's flat like this. We cut it a little more triangular so that it would give better aerodynamics. And then we use this great product by Rust-Oleum called Leak Seal, and it's a spray-on roofing compound, and we put about 10 coats on it. and it provided a resilient, flexible, leak-proof cap to it. Now I haven't used this at 100 feet yet, so I have no idea what the 4 1/3 atmospheres is going to do to it. But I'm pretty sure that with the non-collapsible styrofoam in there being held in by a sort of more flexible foam and the rubber roofing compound membrane, it should be okay. I don't know, but if it's not okay, you won't be seeing this.